He rolled his eyes the moment I stepped into the boardroom. Old suit. Frayed cuffs. 3 folders tucked under my arm like I'd come to beg. You were never good with contracts, he sneered. The company lawyer smirked along with him. They thought I was here for mercy. Idiots. I placed the first folder on the table. My hands didn't shake. Your signatures are invalid, I said. Silence. I hadn't even opened it yet, but I remember how the founder's son leaned back in his chair, lazy and titled, certain the ending was already written. He had no idea I wrote the first chapter. I met him 10 years ago when he was nothing more than a rich kid hiding behind his father's name. He shook my hand with both of his like he was afraid I'd disappear. I need someone like you, he said. I believed him. I built the software architecture. I drafted the contracts. I negotiated the $1.2 billion licensing deal with Titans, the deal that put this company on the map. We're brothers in this, he used to say. I was naive enough to think he meant it. The betrayal didn't arrive as a knife. It arrived as a calendar invite. A performance review with no warning. Sudden restrictions to system access. New interns quietly copying my workflows. Conversations that died the moment I entered rooms. The final clue was accidental. A forwarded email chain his assistant forgot to clean. Subject, termination strategy. Replace CTO by Q4. I read every bullet point. Every lie. Every invented flaw. At the bottom, in his handwriting, get him out quietly. He knows too much. He wasn't wrong. I didn't rage. I didn't confront him. I shifted. If he wanted quiet, I'd give him silence sharp enough to cut. I began pulling copies of contracts I'd written years ago, legal drafts saved under obscure names only I understood, clause revisions, ownership maps, licensing rights, and the buried addendum, the one that protected my authorship of the core algorithm. Half the company didn't know it existed. He certainly didn't. I wrote it in the early days because trust is a beautiful concept, but signatures are better. While they prepared my exit package, I prepared their funeral. I let them fire me. I accepted the cardboard box with a calm nod. Because they had no idea what I took with me. 3 folders. Folder 1. The original Titans license. My signature as lead architect. And a clause stating any modification or renewal requires approval from all original authors. Folder 2. Proof the founder's son had illegally altered licensing terms to secure side payments from a competitor. Folder 3. My replacement's contract, signed a week before my termination. Dated. Time-stamped. In direct violation of Folder 1. Young. Eager. Cheap. I almost felt sorry for him. Almost. Let's make this quick, the founder's son said, sighing. I opened Folder 1. The lawyer leaned forward. His eyes narrowed. He recognized the clauses before I spoke. Your signatures are invalid, I repeated, tapping the page. This license cannot be altered without approval from the original author. I paused. That would be me. The laugh that followed was nervous. Too loud. Cracked at the edges. What are you saying? I opened Folder 2. Color drained from his face. His hands trembled just enough to betray him. The whispers around the table grew louder. The lawyer's smirk collapsed. Then I opened Folder 3. This, I said, sliding it toward the chairman, is the contract for the man you hired to replace me, signed before my termination, which triggers breach penalties under the Titans license. The chairman turned slowly toward the founder's son. You did this without board approval? He sputtered. Blamed everyone but himself. Reached for excuses that never formed. He was still talking when security walked in. He lost his seat that afternoon. All outgoing contracts were frozen. The board reinstated me for the transition. Long enough for them to realize they needed me more than they would ever admit. I didn't stay. I didn't want apologies. I just wanted the truth acknowledged. As I walked out for the last time, the replacement engineer approached me, wide-eyed, shaken. I'm sorry, he whispered. I didn't know. I nodded. It wasn't you who needed to know. Because the founder's son finally learned what he never understood. You don't roll your eyes at the man who built the foundation you're standing on. Not unless you're ready for the collapse. And I was more than ready.